Hello, everybody. I am here with eliminated player number 3, who sadly got offed by the Traitors. Amy, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you, Nick?
I am good. I'm good. So, how has it been watching back your season thus far?
It's been really good and really interesting. I'm still trying to catch up on some of the episodes, but getting to see who the traders were was like really eye-opening. When I saw Ella on there, I was like, "What?" Because she's playing the game so good so far. And then also too watching it back, I'm like, I definitely could have played some better moves, and I wish I had a couple do-overs. But it's been great so far. I can't wait to see what happens at the end of it. So.
Yeah, hindsight is always 2020. Going back to the Traitors, though, did you ever suspect? You said Al surprised you a lot. How about Dar and Ashley? Did you ever suspect them?
Dar a little bit, but I didn't get a lot of opportunity to talk with him. So I couldn't really get a good gauge on him. And then Ashley, at some points I had some suspicion, but again, I really didn't talk to her too much. So I kind of wanted to have like a one-on-one with her. I think that was one of the last things we talked about, and then I got off. Um, so I didn't have any like, hey, I think it's this person moments, unfortunately.
And why did Al surprise you the most?
Because she played the game really good. Like the conversations I heard her having with everybody, she didn't give off any traitor vibes. And then watching back now, like the conversations she's having with Jason and everything, like she's playing the game really good. Like she knows what's up and she knows what she's doing. So kudos to her.
Going back, it's been like a good 6 or 7 months now, but going back to the beginning, what did you enter the game expecting and what was like your strategy?
So I went in expecting to be able to, I guess, kind of gauge and read the conversations better, and I really struggled with that. Like I wasn't picking up a lot of signs like, "Hey, it may be this person. Hey, it may be that person." I'm not going to bring up Lori's grandkids. That's going to be a plead the fifth moment. Um,
I think we have
but
to bring up Laura's grandkids, but we'll do that later.
I've been reading the comments. I'm like, nope, plead the fifth if that comes up. That was one of my bad moves. Um, Yeah, just, I wish I put more thought into the conversations I was having. I wish I kind of worked a little bit more on alliances, and just kept my eyes open a little bit better. And I wish I talked more too, because I think being quiet really played against me, from some of the stuff that I've heard since they were kind of being suspicious of people that were more quiet. So coulda, woulda, shoulda. Wish I played different.
During the Amancio elimination, you did mention that you were worried because they were talking about the quiet players. Did that make you want to change your game any?
It did. It did. And I remember like before a couple of the chats after that, I'm like, all right, I have to talk more. I am a shy person, but I kind of got to step outside of my comfort zone and, kind of put it out there and try to have those conversations and show, hey, you know what, I'm not a traitor. This is who I am. Let's work on some alliances. But I was definitely worried because I know aside from Amatsu, I was the next quiet one. So I figured I was on the radar.
You started the game in an interesting spot because Mike and Dot came into this game and Dot had it out for Mike at first because of a past game, and you kind of were talking a lot to both of them. Watching that back, or just going back to when you experienced it, how did you feel watching that back and what that did for your game?
Yeah, I liked Dot a lot. I thought he was one of the first ones I got to have a couple conversations with. And I just got a really good vibe from him. He just seemed genuine. And at the beginning I didn't know he had played in the previous games. I think I found out maybe after the second or third time I had got to talk to him. And then Mike, I had heard initially he played a previous game. Um I wish also too I had some better conversations with him. I had a little inkling in the back of my head at first that he may be a traitor just based off of that whole thing with Drea early on. But I told him flat out during, I think it was when he was the interrogator, how I felt about that, and we were good. So again, I wish I built better alliance with him. And they know how to play the game too. Like they were working out alliances, and they would have been really great partners. So.
That was my next question. I did have to bring up the Drea thing because you were in one of the chats when that happened. She wrongly thought Mike was talking about the 4 or 5 people that he liked, but he was talking about sports teams. And then later she's joking about it when you're in a chat. Is that what kind of kept you away from Mike for a while?
Yeah, that and just I kept hearing in various rooms that he played the game before. He could be a little bit of not telling you the truth all the time. He was a very savvy player, so that did make me a little wary about him. But after a while and getting to talk to him, I was like, okay, he seems solid. But yeah, definitely knowing the backstory of him, and I actually went back and was watching previous shows that they were on to try to see if there's any difference in how they were acting from their previous shows to this show.
That was a good idea. Watching it back, anybody else surprise you that was a faithful that you weren't expecting?
Raven. I had a little at times thought about Raven, but I'm glad she was a faithful because she ended up being like really cool. Um, but yeah, that was about it. I didn't get a lot of opportunity to kind of really like talk with a lot of the other faithfuls, so kind of couldn't really gauge.
Well, we have to bring up Lori and her grandkids. Now, you weren't the only one. Jason was also on this. He wanted you to also look into this. I know you're getting a lot of flack in the comments, but some people think it's funny. What was it about Lori's grandkids that bothered you and Jason?
So let me just put out there. I think Lori is awesome. I think she's amazing. I really hope she gets to the end of the game. I am rooting for her. Um, it's just the grandkids piece. Like one of the things that I was just trying to do in my strategy to begin with was see if there was differences in people's stories, whether it be something they say is their favorite or whatever it may be. And I could have sworn I heard different number of grandkids in different conversations. So that just stuck with me. Unfortunately, it stuck with me a little too well and I didn't drop it and I should have like paid attention to other things. Um but yeah, and then it came up in a conversation with Jason in one of our one-on-ones. I forgot how it started, but we were talking about Lori and then the grandkid thing came up and I'm like, yeah, I think, I heard a different number here versus there. But that is something I definitely wish okay, yep, I got this in my head, but I wish I moved on from it. So I'm like seeing all these things online and I'm like, you know what, they're 100% right. So
I mean, I will say though, so early in the game, you have to find something, some kind of information to go off of. And
yeah.
and in different conversations, she was saying different numbers.
Was she?
Yes,
What?
there was one time she said 8, one time she said 10, so you weren't
uh, okay.
wrong.
Okay. Still, I'm just like, I'm done.
So Ashley was actually the trader that pushed for you to go because you were quiet, I guess.
Yeah.
What do you think her thought was behind that?
I thought her thought was that I wasn't going to get any safety votes, which I mean, she was right because I didn't really have any really strong relationships with anybody to get a safety vote. So they knew if they knocked me off, I wasn't going to be marked safe from the other faithfuls. And then I think in the last episode, my job came up. I wish I wasn't as vocal about my job during some episodes too, because I remember her referencing that when she wanted to off me. But kudos to Elle because Elle was against it at first, or said she was on the fence. So Elle, thank you for trying to save me for one more round. But um, yeah.
You said you're rooting for Laura. Anybody else you're rooting for watching it back?
I'd love to see Dot, Jason, or Mike, and it's kind of funny because they've all played the game before. But just because I had those good relationships with them, or those positive relationships with them when I was in the game. That's awesome. Just very very personable. I love talking to him and Jason too. Just really good guys. Everybody I played with was really good, but those guys just really stood out for me. So.
Is there anyone else you think you could have worked with closer if you had the chance?
Raven. I think Raven would have been really cool to work with. She's got a great personality, very bubbly, easy to talk to. And Mike too. Like Mike and I, had that good conversation in our one-on-one. So I would root for them too if I could.
Would you ever play another game? Probably a different game, but another game.
I would, yeah, and I would go into it with a better strategy. I'd be more vocal. I'd plan things out better. But yeah, I would definitely play another game.
What was your biggest lesson as a player that you learned in this game?
Biggest lesson, you got to put yourself out there. Because if you don't put yourself out there and actually truly try to play the game, you're not going to get anywhere, and you're kind of going to get stuck, and you're not going to last very long. So you have to kind of really, go into it with an open mindset. Keep your eyes open, but make sure that you're still being an active player.
I don't know if you watched the rest of the episode after you were eliminated, but Ashley has since gone as well. So how do you think Dar and Al are going to go without her?
Actually, I was at the airport this morning and I was watching the end of that episode. See, I did see she's off, and they have the option to either try to recruit another trader or off somebody else. I think they're gonna do okay. I think they're both really smart. They both know how to play the game. LA already said, I was really impressed with how she was playing the game. Um, I think they're probably gonna maybe lean towards just offing somebody because I think at this point, if you try to recruit somebody and it doesn't go well, that can really work against them, depending on the rules. But I think they're going to do okay. I think they're going to do well.
If they were to recruit, who do you think would be a good player to recruit?
Oh, that's a good question. Drea. I think Drea would be a good player because she's got a lot of the backing of the faithfuls at this point. Um, or at least some of the core faithfuls, and I think she'd be able to play a traitor good too. She'd be a good interrogator. I know they keep voting for her to be an interrogator, so I think she'd be good at getting people on her side and asking the right questions. So I think Drea would be on point.
What if after you left, they recruit Lori and she actually becomes the evil grandma?
That would be pretty funny. That would be awesome. That would be cool. Um, yeah, that would be good. I don't even know what to say to that. That would be good.
Well, do you have any final thoughts or anything you want to say or plug or anything?
I really appreciate the opportunity to participate in this. I did have a lot of fun. So thank you to you and everybody. And it was great to play with everybody. And I hope everybody's doing well and the game went good. And hopefully a faithful took it home. But yeah, just thanks for the opportunity.
Of course, thank you for playing. I'm certain I will be in touch. I don't know if I will try and do some sort of reunion at the end of the season, maybe if I have time, or for a future game, hopefully as well, if you have the time whenever that comes.
Yeah, sounds great.
All right. That is Amy, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.